Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's this week starting Wednesday the 13th of July through till Tuesday the 19th of July 2022. So welcome. While you're coming over, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So if you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is using my Speed of Light Oracle cards, which have been combined with my Animal Kingdom Oracle. These have been combined to make a 110 card deck. You can combine the cards or you don't have to. I use mine singly, the decks, and this combined deck is definitely my favourite. And I'll be using this combined deck to look for the best cards for this week ahead. That's general guidance for everyone. I'm not doing personal readings for individuals. So I trust you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time and during this week coming. So I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia. I'm in the middle of Tasmania now, towards the north, and it is Wednesday the 13th of July here at exactly 9:03 a.m. So good morning. Let's say hello to those of you who are commenting, and then we will get started. So good morning. I can't even see who's first. Oh, hold on. Belinda. Good morning, Belinda. You're covered over, but I see you as I move things. Hi, Belinda and Sharon and Robin. Welcome. Hi, Sue and Michelle. Hi, Tash and Colleen and Kim. Tela's here. Good morning. Hi, Alicia and Annie. Hi, Lucy and Jill and Margarita. Hi, Chelsea and Tammy at 7 p.m. in Michigan for Tammy. Welcome. Hi, Renee, and Anne-Marie is here too. Hello and welcome everybody. So let's look for the best card. So I trust you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. Take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what fits into your life easily. Really take on board or listen to the things that speak personally to you and let the rest go. So last week's theme, we had the resources card connected with freedom or a shifting in resources, probably especially financially. We had that energy around last week. So how did you go with that? I think for me, actually, it was like my resources in regards to my skills that have taken a really good shift last week. So let's now turn our attention to the new week. So I'm shuffling the cards and I'm asking for the best cards that the majority of us need for Wednesday the 13th of July through till Tuesday the 19th of July 2022. The best cards for this week for the majority of us are these. So I'm just going to lay them face down here next to me. Okay. So we've got 3, 4, 5 5 Animal Kingdom, 2 Speed of Light Oracle. Let's turn these guys over. Okay, we do have a dragon. Send me in your dragon guesses, and I'll talk about the dragon a bit later. So the dragons are all the elements plus the spirit dragon. So earth, fire, air, water, spirit dragon. Which one do you think has come up in the reading today? So we'll get to that shortly. So we're starting the reading week, Wednesday, the 13th of July. Well, this is going to be interesting. I don't know what you can see here, but we're starting with the Macaw card 12 for the 13th. And it says bold and daring communication. So some of us might find on Wednesday that we're needing to really look at how we can communicate better, and there might be a situation that requires us to speak up in a bold and daring and confident way. And honest way, of course. Sometimes I find, in fact, often I find that if I feel blocked a bit in regards to my communication, like how do I feel about this, or how can I clearly express what's going on for me. I often sit with my journal and write about how I feel and what I want and all different angles of the situation, so I can get clear in myself before I step out and communicate it with someone else, if I have that luxury. We don't always have the luxury. Sometimes we're in the heat of the moment and we've just got to come out with that bold and daring, confident and honest communication. So this is coming up for Wednesday. There feels to be a confidence too in this communication, so a strength in communicating. So that's for Wednesday. It may be to clear the air, it may be just to settle things with another person, or something that we feel agitated by or uncomfortable with that we might need to speak up about, so that others see how we really feel. Because they don't know unless we tell them, do they? People aren't mind readers. So it's not really wise for us to assume that other people, even our partners and people close to us, that they know what we want or what we think or how we feel if we're not communicating it. So let's make sure that if we've got something that's important to us, that we find a way to express it and communicate it, so that hopefully then other people know the state that we're in or what we're feeling. But we need to know ourselves first, otherwise we're not going to accurately communicate it. So that's for Wednesday. Now, Thursday, the 14th of July, we have card 25 called Pause. And it says hold, time, transition, suspension, and limbo. So this is about being in a time of limbo. And I'm sure it's not just Thursday. I've seen a lot of people at the moment, or in this last week or so, that seem to be in this space of limbo, where they're waiting. You might be feeling like this, where you're waiting, you're sort of hovering on something. You may even feel a bit impatient at times, or most of the time, about this situation that is in limbo. So this limbo energy is coming in for Thursday, and we might find that if we have the time and the space to do so, that we want to pause and sort of sit back a little bit. This card as well. So while things are on pause, it's like we're being held in this space here, like a womb or something, like in this space here, to heal, to mend, and to maybe look at why we feel impatient. If I'm feeling a bit impatient, I remind myself to trust in perfect timing, because I trust in the bigger picture and I trust in perfect timing. It's proven that I can trust it for years and years, as things have lined up and lined up and lined up, or things haven't lined up, but then in hindsight I see why that didn't line up. At the time I might have been frustrated and impatient, as we get sometimes. So I remind myself, if I'm pulled into that impatient feeling and I'm getting a bit antsy, trust in perfect timing. This will unfold at the right time. So what can I do while I wait? Because that waiting time, whether it's an hour, whether it's a month, whether it's years, we can use this waiting time very valuably to focus on other things, to heal, to rest, to mend, to better our communication. So there are things we can do while we wait. So to be impatient really is us feeling a bit antsy, but also it's a waste of time. So let's trust in perfect timing, things working out, that we're proactive in that too. We're not sitting back twiddling our thumbs waiting, unless we're waiting on other people. But what can we do while we wait? And that's what this card is about. What can we do while we're in limbo and while we're waiting? Maybe time for healing, time to look within, time to better our communications, or communicate with ourselves first. Get clear about that so we know where we're going and what we want moving forward. Okay, so that was Thursday. Friday the 15th of July is the Masked Owl, card 49. And it reminds us to stay optimistic. Now is not the time to give up, especially on Friday, but around this time period is not the time to give up. Sometimes we give up and we're like, right, I'm done. and it shifts energy in a really positive direction. Sometimes we need to just sort of wipe our hands of something, step back and surrender and say, right, I'm done, and have almost like it's a breakdown to break through. So sometimes we're in our own way and we need to just go, right, I'm done. I've done that. I've done that quite a few times. And what it does is it shifts things up because I was in the way. So if that's the space for you, maybe that's just what you need to do, is just wipe your hands of it, let go, surrender, and tell yourself you're done. But on the other hand, depending on the situation, some of us may need to encourage ourselves not to give up, that even though we're waiting and things have been in limbo for a while, that things are still changing and things are happening, and we can use this time to focus on other things. So let's stay optimistic and hopeful of a positive outcome at this time. So that's Friday. Now, Saturday, the 16th of July, we're getting close to the dragon. What did you guys guess there? I can't really see comments. It's very bright and sunny this morning. This is for Saturday, the 16th of July, Temple of Maya, sorry. Card 51, and it says manifestation, revelation, and purpose. I love this card because it brings structure. It brings order into unsettled energy. So if we've been feeling unsettled or things have been out of order, we feel overwhelmed because things are out of control, there is something about this card that brings things back into order and brings a structure again in our life if we're willing to let that occur. So this card talks about structure. It talks about building. It could be a literal building, but not just our everyday building. It might be something happening around the home. It could be about an institution or some type of building that we need to go to or that's around at the moment that's of importance or significance. It also, this card brings with it purpose and a revived sense of purpose, but it comes on the back of this structured energy. So creating more structure in our life. So for some of us, in fact, probably nearly all of us, that might mean looking at how we spend our time. It might be looking at our time management, our routine, our schedule, and how structured that is or how unstructured that is, and what we need as individuals. Like I'm someone that goes, I'm a bit of a contradiction, but I'm someone that goes a lot with the flow, but I also like a lot of structure in my life. So like on Sundays, I'll be looking ahead for my week and I'll be getting things lined up. I'll even be doing things that I can on the Sunday to free up a little bit more time on my Thursday, for example. So I like to get very organised and structured because I find my flow works well with that. That's my personality. It may not be so much for you. Some people aren't that way inclined. So we're all different. And I think it's maybe coming back to that communication, you know, whether we need to clear the air with other people or not. That clear communication and really listening to ourselves and asking ourselves the questions that we need to ask and then honestly answer can give us a lot of information about who we are and what we like and what we want and what our personality is. Because then we can figure out how much structure we need or how much flow we need or how much of this we need or how much of that. So we're all different. So my percentage of structure that I need, which I'd say is probably 60 or 70% of my life, is based around structure and order and being organised. It keeps me clear, it keeps me stress-free because I can anticipate and I can prepare and I can get things happening, get things ordered. And then that other probably 40% is flow. So for you, it may be the opposite. But what I do invite you to think about is how much structure or organisation or ordered energy that you have around at the moment. Is it out of control? Is it too much? Sometimes we can be too controlling. So it's a balance as well, isn't it? So working out how it is for you now, what's the reality of your life? Is this enough? Is it too much? How could you balance things up a bit that work for you and the type of person that you are? So that structure and finding purpose and almost it feels like the structure is a springboard that springboards us into that purpose and that ordered state that we like to be in, especially mentally. So that's the Temple of Maya. I don't know why I'm saying it weird today for Saturday. Okay, Sunday the 17th of July, we have our dragon. So who guessed the air dragon? So, actually, this isn't surprising with what I've already been talking about. So the air dragon is card 27, and it says your mind is powerful. And in general, I've noticed, I think our mind, our higher mind, likes order. It likes being organised in that order and that structure. This is why my mind really likes me playing a musical instrument. And the order and the mathematical side of playing music, my brain really likes. But then I like my ability to play within that order. Then when I play the trumpet, I can play with feeling depending on the style of the piece. So that is me adding my personal feeling, my flowing touch or whatever comes from inside. That is not structured and ordered. So I can work within the framework of the musical laws and rules and the mathematics of music, of bars and chiming and beats and what notes do and what notes mean that are very ordered. I can work within that to bring my creative inner emotion and flow out in the way that I play my instrument. So I feel like our mind, our higher mind likes order. Our wounded mind likes us to be in wounds. So that's a whole nother topic. But this card is reminding us, especially on Sunday, but at this time, that we have a powerful mind. Your mind is not your enemy. Your mind can be your friend. And you can work with the power of your mind and your personality and how your mind likes to be. Are you more mathematical brained? Who are you mentally? Because when you get to know who you are mentally and emotionally, physically, and your personality and all that stuff, then you can know how to work your life around that and understand yourself better so that you can work with your gifts, increase and improve your weaknesses, because we all have those too, so that we can, I feel like, live to our fullest potential. So on Sunday, there's a strong mental energy coming in, and it feels like that higher mind. So it might be good for us in the days leading up to Sunday to look at what is loud about our wounded mind or our lower mind at this time, our fear and that side of us that talks us out of things or self-criticizes. That side of our mind we want to sort of push aside or move out or get past, so we can tap into the higher potential of our mind. So that's Sunday. Monday, the 18th of July, we have card 37, the Penguins. And it talks about an unbreakable bond. So this talks about an unbreakable, strong connection that we have with another person. And usually this person is not with us in the physical. So they may be living elsewhere. It may be a child that's just left home or a partner that is working away at the moment. It could be someone that we love who is in spirit as well. So it's talking about a bond that we have with another person that's not physically with us. That is strong. It is unbreakable, this bond. And I feel like this is an important reminder for some of us to know on Monday. And we might find maybe it's an anniversary, maybe something's changed in our life and partners or children or parents are changing and we're concerned about them. So this is a reassurance that that bond, that connection we have with them is unbreakable, no matter of distance, no matter of where we are, time and space in the physical. So this is a supportive card, really, to know that those bonds are strong and they are unbreakable. They can't be broken. And then Tuesday, the 19th of July, again, one of my favourite cards. Card 1, the Stallion. This is so inspiring and motivating. It says, untie yourself. So by the time we get to Tuesday, there is a feeling here of bounds, ties, attachments, places where we've been giving our power away to external things. Could be the news, it could be dramas in other people's lives, could be our worry about things, could be the fear that's so strong at the moment that I definitely don't need to talk about because it's prevalent. Let's just calm the fear down. Like the fear is just... Being around people who are so scared is really uncomfortable. So I've been trying this week to calm people down from feeling so much fear. So the fear is strong. People are scared. Maybe you've been feeling scared. But it's something we're giving our power away to. So how can we divert our attention? How can we calm ourselves down? How can we move out of that lower state of being and into our higher mind, into those strong connections we do have, and not instead of focusing on the connections we don't have? You know, what's missing? Oh, I miss you so much, or this part of my life has changed and I'm still grieving that. If it's new, then fair enough. But if it's been a while, we're giving our power away to these things. They're taking our power away and they're weakening us, including fear. So this card is about freeing ourselves from such ties that bind us and hold us back and pin us down and drain our energy. If it's something that supports you and is healthy for you, then great. If it's uplifting, if it's empowering, if it makes you feel good, great. If it pulls you down, if it keeps you small and it does this for a while, then it may be something that a tie that needs to be cut. A switch in our attention and our attitude to focus on the things that are uplifting, that are empowering, that we are responsible for and we can do something about, instead of getting petrified and scared and freaked out about things that are out of our hands and out of our control. Why? We're giving power away to those things and they drain us. So this is about getting our power back. It's about picking and choosing where we want our attention and our energy and our physical actions, what we do in our physical life, where we want to direct our energy. If we don't know who we are, if we don't know our personality, which I've talked about quite a bit earlier, then it's going to be difficult for us to know where to hone ourselves, where to give our attention to that is healthy and supportive. So getting to know ourselves and working that out earlier in the week will probably help us when we get to this point on Tuesday to be able to pick and choose. It's a bit like pruning a plant or weeding the garden. We wouldn't weed a garden and pull out the good plants and leave the weeds. When we're weeding the garden, we want to pull out the weeds and leave the good plants, so the good plants have a better chance of growing or receiving the nutrients they need. It's the same with us, especially mentally, and picking and choosing what we're doing in our life. So maybe ask yourself this week, are you pulling out the weeds, the things that drain you and take your power away, that disempower you, that make you feel scared? So are you pulling out the plants or are you pulling out the weeds? So it's an opportunity, especially on Tuesday, to untie ourselves. But there is a strong sense with that card about picking and choosing and pruning, weeding, and really figuring out and choosing for ourselves what we want to be focusing on. So interesting cards this week. So thank you. I'm going to pull a theme card in just a second. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Please hit the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed this video, or show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook, why not follow my stuff here at Temple of Balance on Facebook. So on Friday, that's in 2 days' time, will be our next online art class, and we're diving into the throat So we're going to be looking at truth. We're going to be looking, actually, this is funny. We're going to be looking at communication. We're going to be looking at expression. We're going to be looking at who we are, like deep inside with the throat. So the throat chakra is quite a confronting center of our chakras, so the 7 major chakras, and it really is about how we're communicating and expressing ourselves, but also figuring out who we are, so the truth of who we are. Feeling safe to be who we are, because if we're not feeling safe to be who we are, then most likely we're not being who we are. So we're going to be diving into the throat. I highly recommend it if you're dealing with communication stuff or truth stuff, or you're trying to work out who you are. You don't have to be an artist. The art side of things, the creating, is just a small part of the art class. It's very deeply healing. So check it out if you're interested. That's on Friday. And also on Friday is probably our last card reading club. So if you want to learn from me some oracle card reading tips and things, we'll be doing our next and probably final card reading club on Friday. So you can learn more about both of those things on my website at templeofbalance.com.au. And you can also grab yourself a deck of my Speed of Light Oracle or Animal Kingdom if you want to as well, and lots of other things on my website. So let's now look for the theme card. So the theme card will help bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for this week ahead. So this is the card, this is the energy I keep in mind all week to see how aligned with it I might be. So the best card for the theme for the majority of us for this week, Wednesday the 13th till Tuesday the 19th of July 2022, is this. We've got a Speed of Light Oracle card. Oh, I feel like I'm really in the shadows here. It's prayer, card 2. Okay, this is interesting. Card 2, prayer. And down here it says, ask, help, answers, and improvement. So, first of all, this is about asking for help. So, some of us may need to do that this week. Some of us may have needed to do it last week and may need to do it next week. So this is nothing new and nothing really special, but it's a reminder for us, and especially those of us who maybe feel like we can do it all on our own, that we can ask for help. If we need help, who might be able to help us? It doesn't hurt to ask. The worst they can say is no, and then we're no different to if we didn't ask. And maybe that's part of this communication too this week. If you really need help, people aren't mind readers. So if you're sitting back and quietly suffering and you're not telling anybody at all that you need help and that you're struggling, then you're keeping yourself like trapped in a prison. People are not mind readers. They don't know what you're thinking or what you're going through unless you tell them. So maybe for you, maybe for some of us, this week it is about recognizing we're struggling and finding that strength and that courage to be bold and daring and confident and ask for help. Most people will want to help you if you ask, but people are not mind readers. So stop assuming that people know what you're thinking and know how much you're struggling. They don't. So if you are, please acknowledge that for yourself and reach out and ask someone for help. If you can't do it anymore, or if you just need some help, you might just need someone to talk to. So please ask for help if you need to. Now, this card is also about improvement. So improving ourselves, improving our relationships, improving our life. And what I see from the cards that I've already connected with this week, the improvement that is possible is very much focused around communication. So what we're saying, what we're sharing, what we're asking for, also listening, because communication is 2 ways, listening and asking. There's also a feeling here of getting to know ourselves, who we are as a person, what our truth is, what our personality is like, and how we can create our life to match perhaps or align with who we know ourselves to be. So who we know ourselves to be on the inside and letting that ripple out into our life. So a bit like I was talking about structure versus flow, or order versus flow. I know myself really well, so I know that I like a lot of structure in my life. That's just who I am. It helps with my personality and the way I align with things and my strengths. It also supports my weaknesses because I know that it will help reduce stress and reduce pressure I might tend to put on myself. So I know my personality really well, and I can mold things in my life to match that part of my personality that I know. No one's told me this. I don't need other people to say that you're like this and you're like that. I can figure it out for myself by communicating with me, speaking, asking myself questions and listening for my honest answer. And paying attention to myself. How do I react with certain things? What things do I like? What things do I feel uncomfortable with? All these types of things. So there's opportunity this week for us to improve ourselves, which will then help us improve our life and our alignment with our life. So quite a simplistic card for our theme, but I feel there's a lot of depth in this potentially, especially if you need to ask for help but you haven't been, or you want improvement in your life but you haven't maybe found the key or the way that can help you improve things. So hopefully something shared will spark or trigger something in you that can help you move towards that improvement that you want, that understanding of who you are and what you want in your life, what your strengths or your weaknesses are, so you can work with those. So thanks so much for connecting today. Have a happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating this week. I will share the picture of the cards shortly, pretty much straight away. Come back and connect with the video throughout the week to get your bearings if you want to. And I'll see you next time, maybe on Friday for the art class or the card reading club. Thank you so much. Namaste.